Welcome to this special broadcast. We're tracking the polling performance in phase 3. Yes, 93 seats going to polls. Last time around, the BJP had won 75 seats here. They had lost about 8 seats. This is 2 seats in West Bengal. They lost a few seats in Bihar. They lost 2 seats in Uttar Pradesh, 1 in Chhattisgarh and 2 in Maharashtra as well. Now, the biggest gains came from Gujarat. The BJP won the state of Gujarat in 2014, in 2019, and they want to make a hat-trick this time around. They won all the 8 seats in Madhya Pradesh last time around, and winning in the Hindi heartland is extremely important. Barring 1 seat in Chhattisgarh, they won all the battlegrounds. Karnataka, 14 seats were a clean sweep last time. Let's see if they can continue their winning streak. Maharashtra, a lot of changes in the political circus there. There are now 6 political parties. The Shiv Sena is divided. The NCP is divided into 2. So let's see what impact that has on the ground. Now, going a little micro, and let me start with Assam right now. Assam, there are 4 remaining seats in Assam which will go to polls, and the polls in Assam will end today. Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Chief Minister of Assam, has predicted that the BJP will win 13 seats in Assam, minus Dhubri, because Dhubri has an 85% Muslim population. So let's see how the party performs in Assam, and it's an important state from a BJP point of view. They lost 3 seats in West Bengal last time around, and the battle will be between the Congress, TMC and BJP over there. Now, coming to Chhattisgarh. Now, Chhattisgarh is one of the states which has seen a high voting percentage, above 30% so far. The key battles here are Durg. This is the hometown of Bhupesh Baghel, the former chief minister from the Congress party. The sitting Vijay Baghel is the incumbent BJP MP. He is fighting against Rajendra Sahu of the Congress party. You also have a battle for Raipur. Raipur is being closely watched in Chhattisgarh. You've got State Minister Brij Mohan Agarwal from the BJP fighting against Vikas Pandey of the Congress party. So let's see how the BJP performs here. The Chhattisgarh constituencies will also go to polls in this phase, and the election will be over. Going across to Madhya Pradesh now, and I believe my colleague Manoj Sharma, our bureau chief in Madhya Pradesh, is joining us. Manoj, we're looking out for 3 or 4 key seats such as Guna. We're also looking for Rajgarh. We're also looking at Vidisha, which is the bastion of the BJP, so to say. What are the key issues which are playing on the ground in Madhya Pradesh in this phase?
Parikshit, if you remember, you were there in Guna Shivpuri seat, you were there in Vidisha seat, and you are absolutely right. These are Congress bastion. There are 9 seats. All of them are with the BJP as far as, 2019 election is concerned. Because these 9 seats, if you look at the, political arithmetic, BSP can make a dent for both the parties in Gwalior Chambal region. Sir, पहले परीक्षित मैं लोगों से बात कर लूं जरा जो वोट दे के आ रहे हैं. आप वोट डाला है?
नहीं, गुड़िया ने डाला.
गुड़िया ने डाला? गुड़िया आपने वोट डाला?
जी.
क्योंकि हमारे जो परीक्षित हैं वो जानना चाह रहे हैं कि मुद्दा क्या है. तो आप मतलब जैसे कहें कि आप लड़की हैं, महिला हैं और स्टूडेंट हैं, जॉब कर रही हैं?
हाँ, मैं
जॉब कर रही हैं. क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन है जब आपने, पहले तो आप दिखाइए अपनी उंगली, आपने वोट डाला जो, ये देखिए इन्होंने, गुड़िया ने वोट डाला, क्या सोच के डाला?
कि जो अच्छा काम करेगा उसे ही मैंने वोट डाला है, और आगे हमारी सेफ्टी के लिए, हमारे एजुकेशन और जो भी हम जॉब कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे, हाँ, ग्रोथ हो हमारे कंट्री का.
ये जो जब वोट डालती तो आपको लगता है कि आपकी वोट, योर वोट कैन मेक अ चेंज?
यस, दिस विल, इट विल
चेंज. इनको लगता है कि आप भी डालेंगे वोट, क्या सोच के डालेंगे?
हम तो कर्मचारी हैं वैसे भी सरकारी, और जो विकास करता है उस हिसाब से वोट तो देना पड़ता है.
जो विकास करता है परीक्षित, उस हिसाब से वोट तो देना पड़ता है. लेकिन ये अभी भोपाल की एक, हम इसके पहले विदिशा में थे. आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू व्हाट इज हैपनिंग देयर इन विदिशा, वेयर फॉर्मर चीफ मिनिस्टर शिवराज सिंह चौहान इज इन द फ्रे, बट विदिशा इज अदरवाइज अ बीजेपी बेस्टियन. बट लेट मी फर्स्ट टॉक टू दीज पीपल हु हैव कास्ट देयर वोट इन भोपाल. आपकी एंजल आपको परेशान कर रही है, बहुत देर से यहीं खेल रही थी. अच्छा, आपने वोट डाला?
जी हाँ, जरूर.
तो जब वोट आपने डाला तो आपके जहन में क्या चल रहा था?
कुछ नहीं है कि हम जिसे चुन रहे हैं वो आगे जाके क्या विकास करेगा, जब विकास करना भी चाहिए क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है अभी तो. और बस कि ये सबसे बड़ा काम है हमारा वोट देने वाला, क्योंकि वोट देना, क्योंकि हम खुद ही चुन रहे हैं तो हमें हमारे मन से चुनना पड़ेगा कि हमारे लिए कौन सही है। और अब इतने सालों से तो देखते ही आ रहे हैं ना कि कौन क्या कर रहा है। कोई अगर हमारे लिए, वैसे लाडली बहना योजना जो अभी चल रही है वो हमारे लिए, सब लोगों के लिए सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी है।
1250 रुपए 1250 rupees are paid by Madhya Pradesh government to from which age to which age? What is the age group in Ladli Behna?
लाडली बहना आई थिंक 21 साल से लेके तो 60 साल तक की महिलाओं के लिए है, जिसमें तलाकशुदा भी है और जिसमें जो सर्विस कर रही है या फिर और मैरिड लोगों के लिए ज्यादा ही है।
For lower class, for middle class, 1250 rupees per month can make a lot of difference. So आपने वोट डाला, जरा उंगली दिखाइए।
हाँ डाला ना मैंने वोट डाला।
आपका वोट मतलब क्या कहें, आपका वोट किसके लिए, मतलब पार्टी का नाम नहीं, किसके लिए, क्या विषय, क्या मुद्दा?
मेरा वोट मध्य प्रदेश के विकास के लिए है और मध्य प्रदेश में जो विकास हुआ है वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने जो मध्य प्रदेश में विकास किया है, ना तो कोई पार्टी इतना विकास कर सकती है और ना ही करेगी। मतलब कांग्रेस तो सोच भी नहीं सकती है।
आप तो बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ता तो नहीं?
नहीं, मैं बीजेपी का कार्यकर्ता नहीं हूँ, लेकिन मैं भारत का नागरिक हूँ और मेरा अधिकार है कि अच्छी पार्टी को वोट देना है, जो राष्ट्र के लिए, हिंदुत्व के लिए, जो आगे चल के देश के लिए जो सोचती है, वो पार्टी एक ही पार्टी है जो कि भाजपा है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने जो दिया है, गरीब जन्म से लेके मृत्यु तक की योजनाएं दी हैं, वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने दी है।
आप क्या करती हैं, पहले अपना नाम बताइए।
मेरा शर्मिला मालवी है, मेरा सलून है शाहपुरा पे, कृष्णा सलून है।
तो ये महिलाओं की बड़ी बात होती है, जैसे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने 4 जातियां जो बताई हैं, उसमें एक जाति स्पेशली महिला है। महिलाओं के हिसाब से आपको क्या लगता है कि इस चुनाव में आपका वोट किस मुद्दे के लिए?
सबसे अच्छी चीज तो मुझे ये लगी जो लाडली बहना को उन्होंने 1250 रुपए दिए हैंगे। तो वैसे तो अभी कुंवारी लड़कियों को भी देना चाहिए, जहाँ तक मुझे लगता है, क्योंकि मैं अभी कुंवारी हूँ तो मुझे भी लगता है कहीं ना कहीं मुझे भी बहुत जरूरत होती है छोटी छोटी चीजों की। या फैमिली से हम मांग नहीं सकते इतना पैसा, कि जैसे बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं, उसके लिए मतलब कुंवारी लड़कियों को भी पैसा देना चाहिए। मैं तो ये
दिस इज अ डिमांड एंड योर वोट इज फॉर एक्सटेंशन ऑफ द स्कीम फॉर बैचलर गर्ल्स ऑल्सो।
हाँ, बैचलर गर्ल्स के लिए भी होना चाहिए।
So this is how you can understand what are the issues in Madhya Pradesh. First of all, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, his campaign for the BJP, that is the most important issue. And another important issue, Parikshit, is welfare schemes. Ladli Behna scheme, Yojana in Madhya Pradesh is one of them. It was started by former Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. And let us come to Vidisha seat now, where Shivraj Singh Chauhan is fighting against Pratap Bhanu Sharma, who is also former MP from Vidisha. But Vidisha is bastion of the BJP. Shivraj Singh Chauhan is in the fray from Vidisha. And in the latest campaign, during this third phase of election in Madhya Pradesh, he has been praised by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And what he is expecting now, he may be expecting that he would have some high position when he is elected as Member of Parliament from Vidisha. And this is the expectation from his electorate, for Shivraj Singh Chauhan also. Another important seat is in Madhya Pradesh is Guna Shivpuri, from where Union Minister Jyotiraditta Scindia is in fray. And Guna is considered as BJP bastion, but we have to remember that when Scindia was in the fray, was fighting election from Congress seat in 2019, he lost the election from KP Yadav. KP Yadav has not joined the Congress. He was approached by the Congress, but he has not joined the Congress, and that is why you can say situation is quite comfortable for Scindia from BJP ticket in Guna. But there are two former chief ministers. One is Shivraj Singh Chauhan and another is Digvijay Singh. He is former chief minister of Madhya Pradesh who ruled over Madhya Pradesh for 10 long years, and he is contesting election after 33 years from Rajgarh, from his home constituency. Raghugarh is his home assembly constituency, and Rajgarh you can see some interesting fight between the BJP and the Congress. What Congress is claiming that Raja would have sympathy vote because he was asking for vote from his electorate, as he's contesting election for the last time. This is last time for his political career, so he was seeking vote from on this emotional ground. So Guna, Shivpuri, Vidisha, and also Rajgarh are three important seats, you can say key constituencies in Madhya Pradesh, which are going to polls in this third phase of election in Madhya Pradesh. Parikshit.
Right, Manoj. Thank you for summing up the situation so beautifully for us from Madhya Pradesh. It's a crucial battleground. All these three seats that you mentioned are very, very important for the BJP. And Digvijay Singh, you mentioned, he has also said to ANI a short while back that this will be his last election. He wants to hand it over to new people. Now, before I go across to Hormuz, let me just point out Karnataka. I've zoomed in right now. This is northern Karnataka, which is going to polls today. All 14 seats were won by the BJP this time around. This time, you have the Congress guarantees, which are a talking point in at least 6 constituencies in the northern part of Karnataka. The BJP has also changed about 7 MPs in this region, but the MPs have been changed consistently by the BJP in other states as well. So it's not like a specific Karnataka phenomenon. But yes, in this phase, we could possibly see some impact of the Congress guarantees. A look as to the importance of this region, very important for the BJP because it is a Lingayat-dominated region. Now, if you have B.S. Yedurappa, the BJP leader, he's an important Lingayat leader. The Congress is also vying for Lingayat leaders. They have also placed Lingayat candidates this time to make sure that they can make a dent in the BJP's Lok Sabha vote bank. So who all are contesting from here? You've got former Chief Ministers Baswaraj Bommai from Haveri, Jagdish Shettar from Belgaum, Prahlad Joshi, the Union Minister for Coal and Mines, he's fighting from here. The most important and interestingly watched battle will be the battle for Shimoga. And this is because you've got BJP's B.Y. Raghavendra. He's the son of Yedurappa who's fighting from here. Congress's Geeta Shivraj Kumar. She's the daughter of former Chief Minister S. Bangarappa and BJP rebel K.S. Ishwarappa. So Karnataka will be an interesting battle to watch out for. You also have the allegations against JDS MP Prajwal Revanna. Now, the sex scandal allegations were in the headlines this morning as well because JDS carried out a protest against Congress and DK Shivakumar over the allegations. That is not a direct issue in this election because JDS is not contesting any seat this time around. It's a fight between Congress and BJP. But clearly, it's a major talking point in the campaign and the Congress has made this the single most important issue. With that, let me go across to Hormuz Fatakia. He's at our election desk in Mumbai. Hormuz, which are the 4 to 5 key seats that you are watching out for?
Some important, interesting names coming up, Parikshit, and Manoj was just highlighting when he was in Madhya Pradesh and he was highlighting Vidisha, where Shivraj Singh Chauhan is in the fray. And some interesting bits is that Shivraj Singh Chauhan is now seeking a 6th term as MP from Vidisha, a seat that was earlier represented by stalwarts like Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the late Sushma Swaraj as well. Now, Shivraj Singh Chauhan was representing the seat from 1991 until 2006. Now, who he is up against is the Congress veteran himself, a 77-year-old Pratap Bhanu Sharma, who is also contesting this election from Vidisha, and he has represented this seat as a Congress candidate in 1980 and in 1984 as well. So he is another one of the oldest candidates in the fray in the Lok Sabha elections, aside of Ramakant Khalap, as we had highlighted in our earlier discussion. So that is about Vidisha. And the one thing as well is that Vidisha has voted very decisively in the previous election. The outgoing MP Ramakant Bhargav had won that seat by 5 lakh votes in 2019. So it will be an interesting contest this time around from Vidisha. From Madhya Pradesh, I'd go across to West Bengal now, and the seat that I wanted to speak about is Malda Dakshin, and that is a proper family bastion, if you would want to call it, and being represented by the Ghani Khan Chaudhary family since 1980, and it is one of the 2 seats that the Congress won in 2019, the other one of course being that won by Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. Now, Abu Barkat Atur Ghani Khan Chaudhary was representing the seat from 1980 until his death in 2006, and since then it has been represented by his brother Abu Hasim Khan Chaudhary. So it's almost 7 to 8 or 9 terms since that family has been representing that seat. And now Isha Khan Chaudhary, who is the son of Abu Hasim Khan Chaudhary, is in the fray from this seat, the 52-year-old contesting on a Congress ticket. Now, as of 11 a.m., the turnout in Malda Dakshin has been around 33%. So healthy turnout so far. Vidisha also recording a 33% turnout as of 11 a.m. From West Bengal, go back to Maharashtra, and the seat that I wanted to speak about is Latur, which is the stronghold of the Congress party. The late Vilasrao Deshmukh hails from Latur, and two of his sons are also MLAs from the Latur region from two of those seats. The Latur seat was also represented by former Home Minister Shivraj Patil from 1980 until 2004. That is Latur, 20.7% turnout so far as of 11 a.m. and a 62% turnout was recorded in 2019. Now, Latur has not elected an MP for 2 terms since 2004, but the current incumbent Sudhakar Shangare, he's seeking a second term after winning the 2019 election by over 3 lakh votes. So we'll keep an eye out for Latur as well. And lastly, to Karnataka, as you were mentioning, the one seat that I wanted to highlight was Bellary, and that is the seat that Sonia Gandhi won her first Lok Sabha election from there. But here, the BJP contestant B. Sriramulu is contesting from on a BJP ticket. Now, B. Sriramulu has been in the news for over the last decade now over various scams that his name has appeared in, and he's been a minister as well in the state government, and he has been an MP as well from this seat in Bellary between 2014 and 2018. Now, why Bellary is also interesting is because in 2019, the winning BJP candidate, Y. Devendrappa, the margin of victory was only 25,000 votes. So we'll keep an eye out on Bellary. But interestingly, Sriramulu had contested the assembly elections as well in 2023 that the Congress party had won, and he himself had lost his seat by close to 3 lakh votes against the Congress candidate. So an interesting choice there from the BJP. Healthy turnout there as well. Around 70% turnout has been seen in 2019. Around the seats that we spoke of in the first discussion, the Gujarat seats have seen turnout of anywhere between 20 to 25%, while North Goa has seen a turnout of close to 30%. So voting picking up as the day goes by. We'll keep you updated with more numbers. Back to you, Parikshit.
Thanks for that quick analysis, Hormaz. And Hormaz getting us all the market news through the day and also election analysis in between bulletins. Let me go across to Shivani as well. Shivani, we're looking at Mainpuri very closely. You've got those 8 or 9 seats in Uttar Pradesh. The legacy of Mulayam Singh Yadav at stake here, not just in Mainpuri, but also from Badaयूं, where you've got Aditya Yadav, son of Shivpal Yadav. Also from Firozabad, where you've got Akshay Yadav, son of Samajwadi Party General Secretary Ram Gopal Yadav is contesting from. Now, apart from constituency number 21, which is Mainpuri, one constituency where there could be a tight fight is constituency number 8. And why is that? Let me bring up our election analysis, and our magic wall shows that this is the seat in this phase where the fight is going to be close, Sambhal. Now, the BJP wants to win this seat from the Samajwadi Party, but it's going to be difficult because the Yadav Muslim combine is quite strong on this seat. But reverting now to Mainpuri and the issues that people are raising. Shivani Bazaz joining us. She has been tracking Agra, Mainpuri over the last 2 to 3 days. What are the big issues coming out from the ground, Shivani?
Well, Parikshit, absolutely. It is a Yadav family bastion. Mainpuri, Badaयूं, even Sambhal has been this entire area, and most of the seats that are going to polls in the third phase are important for the Samajwadi Party. And as you rightly mentioned, that Mulayam Singh Yadav's legacy still holds in this area, because when we spoke to people in the last during the last few hours, everybody said that they are voting still for Netaji, even though he's not around. They're supporting Dimple Yadav from Mainpuri because they support Netaji's ideology, his work that he's done over the years. Now, a lot of issues, Parikshit, from the ground, including one of the major things that the youth here told me is that top of their list is unemployment, the issue of unemployment, the issue of inflation, things being very expensive, from petrol to everyday things. That is one of the major issues that is here. And we have a few youth here with us who wanted to speak to us about what their issues are. Let me ask them what their issues are. Sir, अपना नाम बताइए सबसे पहले.
मैं अरविंद कुमार. मैं यही कहना चाहता हूँ कि जिस तरह हमारे किसानों की जो बोरियां हैं, बोरियों से खाद कम हुई है, उसकी पूर्ति हो सके, और आने वाले दिनों में जो हमारे खेतों पे जिस तरह की गैयां घुस रही हैं, इनकी रोग लग सके, और जैसे बहुत सारी बेरोजगारों की समस्या, अग्निवीर हैं जो हमारे भर्ती हो रहे हैं, जो भर्ती होने के बाद 22 साल की एज में रिटायर होकर के उनको घर भेज दिया जा रहा है, उनके लिए कम से कम ये हो कि एक बार जो सेना में जाए, कम से कम ना हो तो अपने जिंदगी भर के लिए उनको परमानेंट उनको किया जा सके। मैं बस यही मुद्दा सरकार से चाहता हूँ और मैं कुछ नहीं चाहता हूँ बस।
अरविंद जी, आपने इम्पोर्टेंट मुद्दे बताए कि किसानों का मुद्दा बहुत बड़ा है, अग्निवीर का मुद्दा बहुत बड़ा है। परीक्षित, दैट इज वन ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट अक्रॉस यूपी वी हैव बीन हियरिंग एंड इवन हरियाणा व्हेन वी वर ट्रैकिंग। अग्निवीर इशू इज वन ऑफ द इश्यूज दैट इज प्रेवलेंट इन दिस इलेक्शन एंड दैट इज व्हाट यूथ इज प्रोटेस्टिंग अबाउट। आप क्या चाहते हैं कि आपका कोई और मुद्दा है या आप भी अग्निवीर के बारे में कहें?
नहीं, अग्निवीर तो मुद्दा ये है। सबसे पहले मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा मैम, जिसको लेकर बीजेपी आई थी 2014 में गुणगान किए थे स्वामीनाथन कमेटी की, रिपोर्ट लागू करेंगे, रिपोर्ट लागू किएंगे, झुंझुना पकड़ा दिए, आज तक नहीं दिए। किसाने का आमदनी दुगनी करने के लिए कहे थे, कुछ नहीं हुआ किसानों को। किसान के लिए डीजल देखिए क्या स्थिति है, जो डीएपी हमको 1600 में मिलती थी आज 2400 में मिल रही है। 5 रुपए की लेस जो मिलती है उसका जो है फिक्स रेट होगा, लेकिन किसान जो प्रोडक्शन करेगा उसका कोई वो नहीं है। तो किसानों की हो चाहे बेरोजगारी देख लीजिए, इस देश में 82.9% बेरोजगारी है देश और प्रदेश में। और मोदी जी और योगी जी झुंझुना बजा रहे हैं, सिर्फ हिंदू मुस्लिम, इसके अलावा इनके पास मुद्दा नहीं है, काम ये कुछ किए नहीं है, ग्राउंड स्तर पे कुछ इनका वो नहीं है। चाहे अग्निवीर की बात कर लीजिए, सोचिए शर्म नहीं आती है कि 24 साल का युवा रिटायर होकर घर बैठेगा और 72 साल का आदमी 75 साल का आदमी फिर से मतलब मौका मांग रहा है। इनको शर्म आनी चाहिए।
तो बीजेपी की बात हो रही है परीक्षित, क्लियरली इट सीम्स लाइक द लोकल इश्यूज, द इश्यूज ऑन द नेशनल लेवल डू टेक प्रेसिडेंस हियर इन द लोकसभा इलेक्शन। सर आप बताइए, सैफई के, मैनपुरी के क्या इश्यूज हैं? क्या आपको लगता है कि जो जनता आप लोग वोट कर रहे हैं इस बार, क्या वो नेशनल स्तर पे जो इश्यूज है जैसे आप लोगों ने बताए वो बड़े इश्यूज हैं, या जो यहाँ के अपने जो प्रेवलेंट इश्यूज हैं, जो लोकल इश्यूज हैं, वो ज्यादा बड़े इश्यूज?
जी, जैसा मैं देख पा रहा हूँ यहाँ पर मुझे बुनियादी स्तर की समस्याएं बड़ी नजर आ रही हैं जो नेशनल इश्यू बन गए हैं, जैसे युवाओं की बेरोजगारी और किसानों के जो न्याय, किसानों के साथ जो न्याय नहीं हो पा रहा है, वो बात एक नेशनल लेवल पर पहुंच ही नहीं पा रही है। देश के सबसे बड़े जो नेता हैं, सत्ताधारी पार्टियां हैं, वो उनके न्याय की बात ही नहीं कर रही हैं। देश की सीमाओं की बात करें, लद्दाख का मुद्दा करें, हम कई ऐसे मुद्दे देख पा रहे हैं जिनमें सत्ताधारी पार्टियों की जो जिम्मेदारी हैं उन पर वो न तो जवाब दे पा रहे हैं, न न्याय दे पा रहे हैं। और कई ऐसे मुद्दे हैं, कई ऐसे डिपार्टमेंट हैं जिन पर भ्रष्टाचार और पक्षपात का आरोप लग रहा है बहुत है। ईडीआई हुआ, सीबीआई हुआ, ऐसे कई मुद्दे हैं। हम इस बार सभी युवा मिलकर के पूरी तन मन धन से पूरी तरह से हम ऐसे सपोर्ट करना चाहते हैं ऐसी पार्टियों को, ऐसी चाहे वो विरोधी पार्टियां हों चाहे वो सत्ताधारी पार्टियां हों। कुछ अच्छे कैंडिडेट हैं, कुछ ऐसे दल हैं जो बदलाव लाने की आशंका रखते हैं, बदलाव लाने की उनसे उम्मीद है। हर युवा इसी बात पर वोट करना चाहता है ताकि कहीं ना कहीं न्याय मिल पाए, हमें इस बार कुछ बदलाव हो सके और हम किसानों की बात को, किसानों के साथ न्याय कर पाए और युवाओं को रोजगार मिल पाए।
महिलाओं का इशू
जैसे ये कह के आए थे नारी सम्मान इनका, देखिए अभी यही जो है चुनाव हुआ है ब्लॉक प्रमुखी का, जिस तरह से चीरहरण हुआ है ये नहीं होना चाहिए। अभी बीएचयू में देखिए छात्र के साथ कैसा बर्ताव हो रहा है, स्टूडेंट के साथ, चाहे जेएनयू हो चाहे बीएचयू, जितने मतलब इवन ये देखिए 2016 में तो इलाहाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी का स्टूडेंट हूँ, इलाहाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी की 2016 में रैंकिंग 80 थी, इस समय जो है चल रहा है 200 के बाहर है। तो कैसे मान लें हम क्या कर रहे हैं? और जो कह के आए थे सौगंध मुझे इस मिट्टी की, मैं देश नहीं मिटने दूंगा, अरे देश 4 गुना उससे ज्यादा डेप्थ में चला गया है। जितना मनमोहन जी छोड़ के गए से उससे 4 गुना ज्यादा कर्ज में चला गया। कैसा देश बनाना चाह रहे हैं आप बीजेपी वाले?
तो क्लियरली युवाओं के बहुत इश्यूज हैं जिनके ऊपर आप सब काफी क्रोधित नजर आ रहे हैं। क्या कोई और भी इशू, क्योंकि ये जो मैनपुरी की सीट है काफी हिस्टोरिक और आइकॉनिक सीट मानी जाती है, समाजवादी पार्टी का गढ़ मानी जाती है, यहाँ से क्या फील हो रहा है आपको कि यहाँ कोई चेंज हुआ है या नहीं?
श्रद्धेय नेताजी की धरती है, ये हमेशा यहाँ 3 पीढ़ी तक सेवा किया है परिवार, ऐसे नहीं है जो परिवार वाले का लक्षण लगाते हैं वो खुद पहले झांक के देखें अपने गिरेबान में कि उनकी स्थिति क्या है। खुद यहाँ तक इवन देखिए कितने लोग जिला पंचायत अध्यक्ष हैं, सांसद हैं, उनके घर में ब्लॉक प्रमुख हैं, सिर्फ वो है मतलब लोगों को गुमराह कर रहे हैं बीजेपी वाले। और ये जो यहाँ मैनपुरी की बात है तो श्रद्धेय नेताजी की देन है। मैनपुरी की पहचान नेताजी के नाम पर होती है। उनका परिवार हमेशा खड़ा रहा मैनपुरी वालों के साथ और हमेशा खड़ा रहेगा भविष्य में।
तो ठाकुर जयवीर सिंह बीजेपी की तरफ से इस बार मैदान में उतरे हैं डिम्पल यादव के अगेंस्ट। आपका क्या ख्याल है? ये मत बताइए कि किसको वोट दिया था, पर ये बताइए कि क्या लगता है आपको, क्या वो इतने पॉपुलर हैं क्योंकि वो एमएलए बने थे मैनपुरी जिले?
बिल्कुल एमएलए बने थे, लेकिन इस बार हमारी डिम्पल भाभी की तरफ ही सब पूरे लोग एक साथ जुट होकर के वोट दे रहे हैं। और महिलाएं, ग्रामीण महिलाएं से लेकर सभी सिर्फ नेताजी की वजह से उन्हीं को जिताना चाह रहे हैं। बस
कोई और इशू? आप लोगों ने बहुत सारे इश्यूज बताए, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट हो गई, इन्फ्लेशन हो गई,
इशू है बेरोजगारी का। आज युवा बेरोजगारी से बहुत ज्यादा परेशान है। जिस सरकार जब 2014 में आए थे तो मोदी जी ने वादा किया था प्रत्येक साल 2 करोड़ युवाओं को नौकरी देने का, और उनका वादा उठाकर दिल्ली वो वादा तो अपना भूल ही गए हैं। बताइए कितने युवाओं को नौकरी मिली? हम आपके माध्यम से पूछना चाहते हैं। अगर नौकरी दी हो तब तो 20 करोड़ युवाओं को नौकरी मिल जाना चाहिए था 10 साल में। तो मोदी जी सबसे ज्यादा झूठ बोलने का काम किया, इसलिए सबसे ज्यादा युवा को मुद्दा है बेरोजगारी का। इस दूसरा मुद्दा है महंगाई का। इस सरकार में सबसे ज्यादा महंगाई बढ़ी है। तीसरा मुद्दा है सामाजिक न्याय का। आज जो हमारा हक अधिकार छीना जा रहा है वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी छीनने का काम कर रही है।
किस टाइप के अधिकार आपके छीने गए?
नौकरियों में आरक्षण, नौकरी में हमारा आरक्षण छीनने का काम भारतीय जनता पार्टी कर रही है। और जो भी अब उठाकर देख लीजिए, वो लगातार आप 17-22 पेपर हो चुके हैं। ऐसा कोई परीक्षा नहीं जो पेपर लीक नहीं हुआ है। लगातार ARO से लेकर पुलिस से लेकर इस सरकार में लगातार 7 साल से लगातार अभी नीट का परीक्षा एग्जाम का वो हो गया, लीक हो गया। तो ये लीकेज सरकार को पूरी तरीके से युवा हटाना चाहते हैं। अब की बार भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पूरे प्रदेश से सफाई होने जा रहा है।
एक आखिरी सवाल आप सब लोगों से मैं पूछना चाहूंगी कि क्या मैनपुरी का जो युवा है वो अपनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी के लिए वोट कर रहा है या एक बड़ा विजन लेके चल रहा है कि सेंटर में कौन आएगा?
एक बड़ा विजन लेके चल रहा है। समाजवादी देखिए, समानता, आर्थिक समानता की बात करते हैं समाजवादी लोग, इसलिए हम लोग ऐसा चाहते हैं जब संविधान बचेगा तो लोकतंत्र बचेगा, और जब लोकतंत्र बचेगा तो हमारे अधिकार मिलेंगे।
एक सवाल आपसे मैं और पूछना चाहती हूँ, समाजवादी पार्टी इस बार इंडिया ब्लॉक के साथ इलेक्शन लड़ रही है और कई पार्टियां उसमें हैं, तो क्या आप लोग सब उन पार्टीज की जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग आइडियोलॉजी उनके साथ चलते हैं या आप स्पेसिफिक?
सभी हमारा गठबंधन सभी तरीके से सभी को साथ लेकर चल रहा है। जो हमारा गठबंधन बना इंडिया गठबंधन, अब की बार बहुत ही अच्छा गठबंधन बना है। अब की बार पूरी तरीके से भारतीय जनता पार्टी सफाई करने जा रहा है। बिहार से लेकर पश्चिम बंगाल से लेकर दिल्ली से लेकर सब जगह, कर्नाटका तक सब जगह सफाई होने जा रहा है भारतीय जनता पार्टी।
हमारे जितने गठबंधन के जितने नेता हैं सब सोशलिस्ट विचारधारा के लोग हैं, समानता की बात करते हैं, सबको लेकर चलने की बात करते हैं। इसीलिए जो है जनसंख्या के हिसाब से सबको मतलब पार्टिसिपेशन दिया जाए, मुद्दा उठाया गया है। और हमारे नेता आदरणीय अखिलेश यादव जी ने जो ये PDA का नारा दिया है, ये पूर्णतः
Thank you. Parikshit, clearly it will take a lot of time because
No, Shivani, interesting views
it
there.
does seem like, Parikshit, that more than the local issues, it seems like the youth of Mainpuri and Uttar Pradesh in general is voting with a larger vision of putting their leaders in the center. That's what we are, gauging from the ground here in Mainpuri.
Right. No, interesting views there from the ground. Some of them were Samajwadi Party supporters. And what also happens in family bastions is that you end up having a lot of supporters of the key political family in these areas who happen to come around where media persons are. And generally, there is an emotional attachment with certain families and political affiliations, and that tends to happen on the grounds during such ground reporting. But thank you, Shivani, for getting us those reports as well. Let me go across to Santya Gora. Santya, we have been speaking about Baramati since morning. Of course, an important battle. But let's look at where Maharashtra really stands. Now, 11 seats are going to polls in this phase. 7 were won by the NDA last time around. But here, you have 6 parties this time. Let's look at the number of seats that the Shiv Sena Uddhav Bal Thackeray is contesting. There are at least 5 seats which the Shiv Sena Uddhav Bal Thackeray faction are contesting. Now, if you speak about NCP Sharad Pawar, they have about 3 seats that they are contesting. How is this poll picture, this somehow political khichdi there in Maharashtra affecting things in this phase?
Khichdi is definitely the right word, Parikshit, and as we speak about what's happening in Maharashtra and what's expected, let me walk towards the polling booth so that I can show you around how exactly the polling booth is looking at 1:53 p.m. Now let me first start with the polling percentage for today. Today, as of 11 a.m., the polling percentage was for Maharashtra was 18.18%. Now, sadly, it's actually lower than what it was in the second phase and the first phase. For the first phase, voting percentage for Maharashtra as of 11 a.m. was 19.17%, and for the second phase, it was 18.83%. And today, as I said, till 11 a.m. it was 18.18%. So voting percentage continues to be a cause of concern. Now, whether or not it's going to pick up by the evening and pick up to the scale of what it was for the first and second phase and also for 2019, that remains to be seen. Now, let me show you this polling booth. You can see some presence of voters here. There are also party workers who are a part of this small crowd. But ma'am, आप वोट डाल के आए हैं, मुझे ये बता सकें अगर नेशनल मुद्दों को ध्यान में रखेंगे, लोकल मुद्दों को ध्यान में रखेंगे, या जो इमोशनल एक पवार वर्सेस पवार पूरा चल रहा है उसको ध्यान में रखेंगे? वोट किसको किया ये मत बताइएगा, मुद्दे क्या ध्यान में रखेंगे आप बताएं? पवार मुद्दे क्या क्या ध्यान में रहेंगे आपके?
अजित पवार।
वोट करने के लिए धन्यवाद आप सभी का, बिकॉज वोटिंग इज समथिंग विच वी नीड टू फोकस ऑन. थैंक यू सो मच. नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट सीट्स. सॉरी जी,
बहुत काम किए.
ठीक है, उन सब चीजों को ध्यान में रखा है आपने?
सबने ध्यान में रखे.
ठीक है. टॉकिंग अबाउट द सीट्स अदर देन बारामती, सो फर्स्ट लेट मी टॉक अबाउट द कोंकण. ओके, वोट करके आए हैं मैम. आपकी उम्र कितनी है? 72. इनकी तबीयत ठीक नहीं है? अच्छा, हम आपको रोकेंगे नहीं, बट यू कैन सी दैट शी इज नॉट वेल. शी इज अकम्पनीड बाय her family members. She is 72, but despite that, here she is. She has fulfilled her duty as a responsible citizen. Talking about the Konkan Belt Parikshit. So for Konkan Belt, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, let me start with that. Vinayak Raut of Shiv Sena UBT is taking on Narayan Rane of BJP. Narayan Rane, the union minister. He's known for, his controversial statements. He has a strong base in Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg. There is no denying that. But Uddhav Thackeray and Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena is also strongly positioned there. Vinayak Raut is the sitting MP. So that is something Uddhav Thackeray believes that it's going to give an edge to his party over BJP. Now, talking about the election issues there, unemployment remains the most important issue in the Konkan Belt. See, now Konkan Belt is actually the southern coastal belt of Maharashtra. Despite the, it's the rich heritage and the rich diversity of the belt, unemployment remains a key issue. The youth of that region has to travel to bigger cities, Kolhapur, Pune, Mumbai, in order to earn their livelihood. So unemployment remains one of the biggest election issues once again for the constituency. Second is lack of industrialization. Whether it's the politics or the ecological factors, there are multiple hurdles. Multiple hurdles are there when it comes to industrialization. That is also leading to lack of job opportunities. So lack of industrialization is something people of Konkan Belt are likely to focus on. Another thing, farmer distress, lack of proper market facilities for the farmers. Ratnagiri Sindhudurg region is known for its cashew nuts and mango crops, and despite that, as I said, the rich ecological setup there and the rich agriculture setup there, the farmers of that region have no other option but to transport their crops to bigger cities. That increases their cost of production. So that remains to be, that also is another important election issue for Ratnagiri Sindhudurg. Now, talking about Raigad, the election issues are more or less the same. As I said, the Konkan Belt, it is also a part of the Konkan Belt. Coming towards western Maharashtra, see, if we talk about Baramati, and just for a second, if we keep the periphery of Baramati town aside, and if we talk about the rural areas, because Baramati Lok Sabha constituency is formed of 6 assembly segments, and if we talk about out of those 6, at least 4 assembly segments there are. मैम, आप वोट डाल के आए हैं, बात करना चाहेंगे हमसे? So, sorry, I'll continue. So, out of those 6 assembly segments, 4 are at least the ones where water crisis continues to be a very big issue. Now, Baramati was transformed by Sharad Pawar. He strengthened the entire irrigation system of the region, but the people of his constituency also claim that that is not that's not true for the entire constituency. It's just this area, this Baramati region, the town periphery and the nearby areas. Another key demand is going to be MSP for sugarcane. Baramati and the nearby parts of western Maharashtra, sugarcane farmers constitute a significant chunk of the vote bank, and they have been demanding an MSP for quite some time. Now, interestingly, both factions, MVA and Mahayuti, and to be more specific, NCP Sharad Pawar and NCP Ajit Pawar, both of them have promised an MSP for sugarcane farmers, but whether or not sugarcane farmers are going to get that remains to be seen. For now, all they got was FRP. So sugarcane prices MSP remains another key important election issues. Now let me talk about other seats like Satara, Sangli, Kolhapur, Solapur. These are the areas where Marathas dominate the voting bank. So Maratha reservation is going to be an extremely important issue. Now talking about Satara and Sangli, for Satara and Kolhapur. For Satara, Udyan Raje is BJP's candidate, and for Kolhapur it's Chhatrapati Shahu Shahaji. Both of them are members of royal family. Both of them are respected among the Maratha community and also by the face of Maratha reservation, Manoj Jarange Patil. So when both of these candidates were selected, that was definitely one of the one of the dynamics which both MVA and Mahayuti Alliance kept in mind. Apart from Maratha reservation, water crisis will be an issue for these seats as well. Farmers' distress will be another issue. As I said, like Baramati, sugarcane MSP, farmers demanding sugarcane, MSP for sugarcane will also be an issue for all these areas. Now talking about Marathwada seat, Latur and Osmanabad, there are multiple factors at play. So first, of course, is water crisis. Latur, because Parikshit, when I started my journalistic career, it was 10 years ago, I started by covering the water crisis in Latur, and here we are 10 years after that, since then, and the water crisis continues to be an issue for Latur and for that region. Other than that, farmers' distress, water crisis has directly impacted the agriculture sector there, and that has led to high farmer suicide rate there. So that remains that is another election issue. Other than that, Maratha reservation will also play a key role, because when the talks of Maratha reservation started, and when Maharashtra government came up with this bill, at that time OBC community was not happy with it. They were against it. So this whole dynamics became Maratha versus OBC. So Marathwada region houses both these communities, so that politics is also going to play a role. So these are the 11 seats of Maharashtra for this particular phase. Important one, because by the third phase, after this phase, around 50% seats of Maharashtra will be covered. Maharashtra is an important state for BJP as well. 48 seats, out of which last time they secured 41. This time their aim is 45. How exactly they are going to achieve that remains to be seen, because there are multiple challenges for both the parties here. Another thing which I want to address here, Parikshit, is the low voter turnout. It also is related to, and that's what political experts also believe, that in the last 5 years a lot has happened in Maharashtra in terms of political turbulence. Alliances were broken, they were formed, new alliances were formed, then those alliances were also broken and the new ones were formed. A lot of changes took place.
Right.
So that has kept the voter, that has left the voter confused and disappointed. So that is also playing a role here. Another thing in Baramati, and with this I can, this is another thing which I want to talk about, is that Baramati, there are multiple complaints. This is NCP Sharad Pawar, which is raising these issues. NCP Sharad Pawar is accusing Ajit Pawar of distributing cash to voters right before polling, like hours before polling. And another thing which they have accused Ajit Pawar's faction is of, keeping Pune Cooperative Bank's branches open, so that they claim that passbooks were distributed. So passbooks are recognized by ECI as a form of ID. So NCP SP, as in Sharad Pawar's faction, is claiming that this was to ensure that bogus voting happens. These are the claims made by Sharad Pawar's faction. They have also written to ECI about this. And out of all these interesting seats, Baramati remains the most high voltage, the most dramatic one.
All right, thank you very much, Sandhya, for summing up the battle across these 11 seats in Phase 3 in Maharashtra. Let's also not forget you've got 4 seats in West Bengal. The BJP had only won 1 of these last time around. You've got 5 in Bihar and 2 in Goa. 7 in Chhattisgarh also going to poll. So it's going to be a very interesting battle all through the day. Keep tuning in to CNBC TV 18 and keep watching our reporters. Ritu Singh from Karnataka, Shivani Bajaj from Mainpuri, Sandhya Gora from Maharashtra, Baramati and Hormuz Fatakia from our election desk in Mumbai. Altogether, we will getting you latest updates on election 2024.